What's up? Well now, as always, I expect great things from Marvel and Netflix collaborations, but like most fans, after the mess that was Iron Fist, I was rather skeptical if they could pull off a good show with so many characters that the audience would have to keep track of. The two powerhouses did not disappoint, thankfully, and I found myself truly enjoying the Defenders, mostly because of the chemistry between the heroes and the buddy-off partnerships we see unfold on screen. For a story about four heroes coming together to protect the city they all have love for, this show will take you for bends and turns that you might not be prepared for, but there's beauty in that. If you're looking for a decently paced show with a lot of superhero ass kicking that Marvel loves to throw at us, then you're in for a treat, as the Defenders has no problem delivering on this. Grab your cape, or don't, since no one here but Daredevil actually wears a costume. This is my review of the Defenders. The Defender starts off with us catching up to Colleen and Danny trying to track down the Hand when suddenly a random woman goes out of her way to destroy their closest lead. On the other side of the map, Luke Cage is finally being released from jail after serving his time and is met by none other than Foggy, a friend of Daredevil's that is now part of the Hogarth law firm. In the meantime and in between time, Jessica is drunk at a bar and quickly meets up with Trish to discuss her hatred for the H word. Yeah, I think we understand that she's not a big fan of that, and she doesn't really like for people to call her that. Anyways, much to her dismay, people on the street look to her for problems that need hero solving. One client in particular was desperate to find her husband due to his disappearance, but Jessica didn't want to take it on, at first. After Luke and Clara reunited, Misty soon reconnects with Luke to explain a volatile situation that is coming to a head in Harlem's underbelly, involving young men taking on secret work that seems to be getting them killed rather quickly. Unbeknownst to the both of them, this new criminal work was attached to Jessica's findings of C4 in an apartment after she looked into the lead of the missing husband not long after a severe earthquake erupted in New York City. Jessica called in the tip to Misty's department, and before long, Luke decides to start looking into the criminal known only as the White Hat. While all this is brewing, the viewers get a good look at the biggest threat to the area, Alexandra. With an agenda all her own to help tighten the Hand's grip on the world, she has increased the speed of her plan with the help of Madame Gao. Even though Alexandra is moving in a rather clean manner, Jessica, while looking into more leads on the case of missing husband, was able to notice a trend in the style of handwriting over several years with the intent of transferring money into different names and accounts. After Luke catches up with the White Hat's metaphorical tracks, he runs into Iron Fist and has one hell of a battle after Danny attempts to beat the snot out of a young man who Luke befriended. During this time, Misty was able to arrest Jessica after her run-in with a ridiculously strong woman who quickly eviscerates the husband she's been following leads on. In the police precinct, of course, Jessica is unwilling to help and is quickly rescued by Matt Murdock. After informing her that they can't keep her, Jessica, in true Jessica fashion, attempts to dip the hell out. Claire soon finds out that Luke and Danny had a pretty crappy run-in and sets up a meeting for the two to discuss the fact that they're on the same side. Luke isn't buying much of Danny's mystical bullshit and calls him privileged. Danny didn't take this too well, but soon started to realize maybe Luke had a point. In a twist of fate, all four of our favorite Defenders on the same day around the same time all decide to go to Midland Financial. There's nothing but ass-kickery flying across your screen for a decent amount of time until the group is able to break away to a nearby Asian restaurant. After a lot of time is wasted by each character in their own quirky way, Elektra suddenly appears at the restaurant and goes absolutely apeshit until Daredevil calls her by her true name. The group soon realizes, after so many attacks and protecting their loved ones, that Danny, the Iron Fist, is the true prize to the Hand. They overpower him and tie him away, but once again, an attack by Elektra leaves them empty-handed and unfortunately kills the OG, Stick. After completing her mission, Elektra kills Alexandra and takes over the Hand without much resistance. The group soon fights Gao again and the other members of the Hand again, basically doing one giant repeat of every series put out so far, playing on their weaknesses of character individually. After so much fighting, suddenly the building blows up in the middle of New York City, and that's pretty much how the series ends. The biggest strength in the show is probably the chemistry between the characters/actors. I really enjoyed seeing specifically Matt and Jessica create a bond. The I don't give a fuck attitude and the sensitive character in a friendship always makes for some of the best character development when written correctly, and we could see that between these two. Even the dialogue between Luke and Danny made Iron Fist an actually tolerable character. The four together literally feel like a family, and I wouldn't change that dynamic between them at all. It was also nice to see a new villain introduced, even though it was short-lived. I think Alexandra was a great addition to the cast and came off as a total badass, even though we didn't see her do much of anything, which we'll talk about in the weakness category. The constant tie-ins of each superhero's universe was definitely a treat. I was super excited to see Misty make an appearance specifically, but it was also great to see the return of Foggy, Hogarth, and others. Tying the universe in a neat bow is a strength of Marvel, and it never feels forced or pushed just because they want them to align, and should be appreciated. Honestly, the ending is pretty lackluster. It feels like we've seen these fight scenes before because in a way we have. I would have appreciated a more creative ending to the series versus fighting the same villains we just saw in Iron Fist and Daredevil again, especially since one of the series ended not too long ago. The Defenders completely get off with blowing up a building in New York City. Bruh, not on your life. New York City has some of the most strict laws in the country, and it's hard to believe that even these great superheroes would get away totally free. I would have liked to see this explored, or at least set up in a fashion that they would have to answer for the damages in the following season for the Defenders. The series was short, but still felt very drawn out. At times I found myself a little bored, which is unusual. I wouldn't have recommended shortening the series, but at times the writing was lackluster and leaned on its visuals for support. Overall, now don't get me wrong, I was really excited for the happy marriage of Netflix and Marvel to bring us something amazing. With four heroes with their own universes coming together, it can be difficult to keep things completely interesting the whole time while trying to cover a lot of information. The show, however, just didn't grab me in the same fashion that its predecessors, Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones did. I do think it's entertaining and worth the watch, but I don't think it will maintain the focus of many people who watch it. I would give this a 6.5 out of 10 overall. It's a decent series, but it's not going to be Netflix and Marvel's best thing out. Well, there you have it. That is my review for The Defenders. I'm sorry it's so late. YouTube has been really screwing me over a lot with the whole demonetization thing, and I was trying to figure out if I wanted this channel to even continue, and I decided that we're gonna keep it pushing. So, I mean, if you would like to support your girl, please join the GeekETV Patreon, where you can join for as little as $1 a month and get cool stuff like, you know, your name at the end of the video, you get free shirts, exclusive content, early access to stuff, all kinds of cool shit. So $1 a month, anybody can spare that, you know what I'm saying? That's a bag of chips. So if you want to support GeekETV and keep us afloat, please join the Patreon. But yeah, did you guys enjoy this review? Let me know in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, and even though the wolf has got a scat, just remember, long little wolf pack.